It's gonna take a minute.
What if I want to take a break? What do I do? Anything like that, or what? Or
Just tell me you need to walk away.
Okay.
I think we're on.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to another episode of our VietMenClub. I hope y'all had a good week. My week was okay. I was actually very excited about today because I have a really good friend who decided to come by and share some of his stories with us. His name is Chris. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and what you do?
How's it going, guys? I'm happy to be here. Got my boy Tim. We're hoopers together, and he said, hey, come over and have a little chat. My name is Chris Boley. I own a number of companies, but my main company is Go Time Investments. Not sit around time, not wait for something to happen time. Go Time. So I go by Go Time, man, because that's how I run my business and that's how I run my life.
Love it, bro. Love it. Thank you for that introduction. That is awesome. Before we move any further, I just want to take a second to give my another friend of mine a shout out, Rick Nguyen. I think I can say that we're brothers from different mothers because Rick is awesome, man. Rick came by the other day and dropped off a bottle of whiskey for me for today's episode. So before we get on with the show, I just want to say thank you, Rick. Thank you. And we actually are going to open that bottle up, and I want to try it out. I've never had it before, so I'm excited. Also today, if I step away from the camera, it's because Alex is not here. The IT department decided to take a break today due to some important matters that he has to attend to. Totally understandable. But if I have to step away to grab my drink, I hope y'all understand. But let's do that. And then I asked Chris what he would like to drink today. And Chris told me he likes tequila. So we got a bottle of tequila for Chris to try as well.
But thanks, Rick, for the whiskey. Hey, we might have a sip of that. But,
yeah,
we're going to try a little of the tequila maybe. But
yeah.
Tim's going to have some of the whiskey, I think. So thanks, Rick.
Yes, sir. So give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Y'all hold on. Got you. This one, right?
Yeah, that one. Yep. Man, I've been good, guys, for a long time, not having too much to drink. I used to drink a lot, and, it's nice to once in a while have a little bit of 1942 or some good tequila. So next time I'll bring a little 1942. I think he's just trying to loosen me up so he can get all the information out of me, man. The stories will be a little juicier, you know what I'm saying?
That was recommended to me by a friend of mine. So we normally do taste tests of whiskey and tequilas that are $40 or less.
Okay.
These two bottles are in the $60 range. This is yours, by the way.
Well, you got a big timer in here today, man, so we're going big, man. We're going to spend some bank, and I'm going to teach you guys how we're going to jump up on them $40 bottles, man. We're going to start doing some bigger bottles. But once you hear from where I came from to get there, man, you're going to not know what it's going to take right now.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
All right.
So we're going to have a little sip of this. Ooh, not bad. I like it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Try this too.
Sure. What is that? That's
This is the whiskey. This is the bourbon. This is the new Rib Single Barrel.
Ooh. Yeah. I haven't had any whiskey in a long time, man. That's pretty good. This tequila is pretty good, though. Thank you.
All right. So let me put my headphone back on. I'm back. Rick, that bourbon is really, really good. Let me switch the camera back to Chris. So, Chris, how's that tequila? Good?
Very good. Very smooth. Thank you.
All right, brother. So, yeah, man. So, just want to really quickly thank you for taking the time out to come and hang out today, man. I know we spend time playing ball together at the gym and whatever, and we share some of our personal experiences together at the gym. But I think it's awesome that you are willing to share those stories with our viewers, many of whom are my personal friends as well. They're tuning into the channel to support me and the things that I have to say, the things that I from time to time complain about.
No, Tim complained. Come on.
So, yeah, and then enjoy the introduction. If you don't mind, would you please tell us a little bit about your upbringing, bro? Like, what was it like when Chris was growing up?
So I'm going to tell you about my upbringing, but I relate to a lot of people because I'm doing well now. I know that I'm very successful. I've done lots and lots of real estate deals. In fact, I've done over $1 billion in deals. And I used to flip houses, and then now I own a bunch of multifamily apartment complexes and drive brand new Mercedes, and I live the life now. Most of all, what makes me happy now is I have a beautiful fiance and a new 5-month-old baby. But, when I go to the juvenile halls and I go speak to people, which really warms my heart, just like that tequila, warms you up a little. I came from a really, really, really tough upbringing. So if any of you guys have been through the struggle, or you've had problems or challenges in your life, I'm going to be very real with you. And I used to be ashamed by a lot of stuff that I've been through. But now I'm not afraid to share, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it, because I know what I'm about to tell you will probably help you. If you're going through the struggle, I know you can get through it and have what I have and so much more.
Yeah. So what do you have like a specific story that you would like to share to elaborate on the struggle that you mentioned a little bit?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown. So I live in California most of the time now, but I was born in New York City. I'm 49 years old. And when I was 9 years old, my dad went to prison. So my mom and I and my sister moved to California, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with another lady, my mom's friend, and 2 other kids. So there was 6 of us living in a little tiny 2-bedroom apartment. Later on, I offered to buy that apartment complex a few years ago. I didn't get it, but it felt so good to offer on the property that I lived in as a kid in a shitty apartment complex.
Wow.
So that was nice. So I lived in that apartment for a while, and I was a good kid until I was about 14 years old. And when I turned 14 years old and went to 9th grade, everything started going bad for me. I would get in fights at school, and I got kicked out of school in 9th grade. And by the way, I got a GED later, but I dropped out of school in 10th grade. I have no college education. I have no education. I don't know what fractions are. I don't know what algebra is, but I know a whole bunch about multiplication of units, of money, of business, of success.
That's awesome, man. So do you have any brother and sisters, or?
I have one brother, and he's been in prison for 25 years.
Wow.
And I have another brother who I got a call. I was in Florida about 3 years ago, and I got a call from the manager of one of my trailer parks, and he called and said, "Hey, Chris, good morning. How you doing?" "Great. Hey, your brother's dead with a needle in his arm. My brother overdosed and died of drugs."
Wow.
In a trailer park that I own in Auburn, California.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. That's crazy.
But
That's
see,
crazy.
all these things like that are what make us strong. So,
Yeah.
I was okay till I was 14. My dad got out of prison, came and lived with us in California. And my dad was a hustler. And my dad taught me a lot about hustle, but he also taught me a lot about what not to do. When I was 14 years old, my dad handed me a bag of weed and said, "Take this to school and sell this to your friends." Back then, the weed was expensive. He gave me an ounce of weed for $300, and he fronted it to me. And this is where I learned about math. He explained to me that there's 8 eighths in an ounce of weed. You can sell these 8 eighths for $40 a piece. So I'm quick on the trigger with math, right? So I'm like, okay, I get to smoke for free an eighth.
Yeah.
And sell 8 eighths for $40. That's $3.20. Smoke one for free and get 2 eighths of profit. So I made $80 with no money and had a free eighth of weed to smoke.
Yeah. But how long did you do that, bro?
I did that. I sold weed for a few years, but
For your dad only, or did you branch out and start selling it for other people as well?
I later went out on my own and got pretty big, but when I had my daughter, who's 23 now, I gave it up. But I can tell you, I got in trouble at school and got kicked out of school, and this is one of the things that really shaped my life. My mom, because I was a bad kid, sent me to live with my uncle, Uncle Rob, who was an attorney. Uncle Rob will save Chris, right? So I went and lived with Uncle Rob. He introduced me to alcohol. He would drink a lot of alcohol, and then on the weekends, he would smoke crack cocaine. He was a druggie on the weekends. He'd get so drunk and crazy, he'd want to smoke coke.
Yeah.
So he'd have me go get him cocaine at these bad neighborhoods. One other note about Rob living with my uncle, who made me worse, not better. He molested me when I was 15 years old.
Oh, man.
My uncle that was supposed to save me touched me in a way that he shouldn't have. I woke up and he was doing some stuff he shouldn't have. I grabbed a baseball bat. I told him if he ever touches me again, I'm going to break his freaking head off. And it stopped, but he still was a druggie.
Wow.
He's since died. I would watch him have sex with prostitutes. Oops, my phone. I don't know how that recorded that.
That's your phone?
Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but
Is that from your...
it's over there.
Oh, let me grab that.
Okay. Yeah, but I saw a lot of bad stuff with my uncle, and I saw a lot of stuff what not to do. But it made me worse by living with him. Like I said, I never graduated from high school. I ended up getting my GED. I didn't go to school.
So how long did you have to live with him for?
I lived with him for about 2 years. 2 years when I was 15, 16.
After the incident, two additional years?
After the incident, it was another year and a half.
Oh,
but
okay.
after he was touching me in a way he shouldn't have been touching me.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm going to kill you if you ever touch me again. He stopped doing that, but he would still drink real heavily.
Right.
And then he'd want to go get dope. And then he'd mess with prostitutes. And I just saw a lot of things with these eyes at a young age that kids shouldn't see.
Yeah.
And it made me worse, not better.
Okay. But how did you get out of that?
How I got out of that is, I moved out and I was on my own. I got my own apartment young. And, unfortunately, I started selling dope. I started selling cocaine. I started selling, a whole bunch of weed. He also got me addicted to cocaine at 15 years old.
Man.
I haven't told this story before, but he would stick that crack pipe in my face. And at 15 and 16 years old, I was highly addicted to that. So I had to get away from him. I continued to sell, and I was going down a path. I should be in prison. I should be dead. I shouldn't be here talking to you guys right now.
No, but you're here for a reason, man.
Yep.
I think all of the things that you experienced makes it more worthwhile. Make your stories more meaningful because you lived through all that. And so a big part of my podcast is like, so a little background on my podcast is that, I went through some of my own personal stuff, right? There's certain challenges, that I had to go through growing up here, in a multicultural household, and I didn't have anybody to rely on. I didn't have anybody to go to. I didn't have anybody to give me the right advice, whenever I needed it. So a big part of me, when I started this podcast was like, hey, let's share my experience because I know I'm not the only one who, went through, certain challenges, to make it in life, right? And I know the name of the podcast is VietMenClub, and really it's just, because I feel like I can only share my view on what it's like, being a Vietnamese person. I can't speak for anybody else. But when you and I started talking at the gym, bro, I'm like, man, regardless of the differences in our ethnic background, regardless of the differences in our personal experiences, we have some similarities, right? And the similarities are our willingness to fight, to go through whatever, and to do whatever that we had to do, right, to survive. Yeah, you sold dope to make a living. You were forced to, in a way. I had to do, a lot of different jobs that I didn't like to do, because like you, I moved out early. I had my son early, but here we are, man. So I think we have, we have earned the right to be here, Chris, given everything that we have gone through. So moving forward, let me ask you this. So how old were you when you started to get into real estate, and what made you get into real estate? How did you get started?
Well, I'll tell you, and I went to juvenile hall a few times when I was a kid, and now one of my favorite things to do in my whole life is to go talk to the kids in juvenile hall, because I was once that kid, and now I'm doing great, which I'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But I never had a job. I never worked at a McDonald's, or I never worked for anyone except my dad's construction company, or on my own. And when I was about 22 or 23, I had made a bunch of weed money, and my daughter was being born, so I wanted to be legit. Back then, you get in a lot of trouble for weed. So I got out of that, and I started my own business, and I started painting houses, and I started remodeling houses. But there's one catch to all this, and I ended up getting really big and having maybe 30 guys working for me. And but I'd always use my dad's license because I was never good in school, and I just kind of took over my dad's license, and he didn't really want me doing that. So I'm 49 years old. I did millions and millions of dollars in construction jobs, had an army of guys working for me, made lots of homes beautiful. But I ran into this guy when I was about 37 or 38 years old, and he wanted to sue me. We got into a big argument, and I was going through a tough time. And I bought a bunch of houses. I used all the money I saved up, and I bought 28 houses in a package deal. And I learned a lot about real estate owning these houses, but unfortunately, at 37 or 38 years old, I hit the lowest point in my whole life. I lost 21 houses to the bank. Wow. I had to go through divorce. I had 21 foreclosures. I had bankruptcy. And this guy sued me, and I was scared and broke back then. And I hate to say this, guys, I used to be ashamed of it. But I'm here talking to you today with a $250 million real estate portfolio. I got convicted of 3 felonies. I'm in front of you talking to you today, and I'm a 3-time convicted felon.
That's fascinating, man.
And I didn't hurt anybody, but I take full responsibility. It wasn't his fault. It was my own fault. It was on me, and I used to be embarrassed by it, but I'm not anymore, because at the lowest point in my life, I decided to do something good with it, and that's when everything changed.
Yeah, but okay, so if you don't mind me, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. So how did you get into buying homes? What was your initial thought? How did you make your first purchase? Did you get any help from anybody? Or for me, when I decided to go back to school, it was just okay, I'm walking one day and I'm like, you know what? The job that I'm doing right now, it was my own business. But I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with the long hours. I wasn't happy with not being able to come home. At the time that my son, at that time I only had my son, I wasn't happy with, not being able to get home at the same time, he gets home from school. So I just decided, to go back to school. So what was that moment for you? When was that moment for you?
Well, I never wanted to go to school. I never fit the mold of what society wanted us to do, what we've been told to do, what everyone has told us to do forever. I needed to make my own way. So, back in the day when I was a contractor and doing a lot of jobs, I would pick up a house or two here or there. So I started buying a couple houses, and I did okay, but I wasn't really into it. And then when I got in trouble, I met a gentleman who had some money, and I had the game and the knowledge of how to do the flips.
Yeah.
And Paul, who is my partner today still, we've been partners for 15 years. He had the money, I had the knowledge, and since then I've flipped over 300 houses, and today I own over 2,000 apartment units. I buy distressed properties, I fix them up. I'm here in Texas because I bought 9 apartment complexes 2 years ago here in Texas for $40 million, man. I'm from the streets. I'm a hood
crazy.
dude. I got 3 felonies. I've been left for dead, and I got a $40 million portfolio here in Texas, and it's my side hustle, man. It's not even my real job.
So
my side hustle.
What was the hardest part for you to overcome your history, like the felonies? Because I know a lot of people out there with, you know, one felony, and they're having trouble finding a job, or they're having trouble, you know, getting started on something, right? Because in our society, you know, I mean, having a felony is it raises some really significant challenges in your life, right? So how did you overcome that? What was your mindset like?
I was so down, you know, when it first happened. I was considering suicide. I was so low. I had no money. I went and bought a $2,000 car. I didn't know what I was going to do because, again, I don't have too many real skills, job skills, life skills, except my hustle and my heart. And what I did is the day I got convicted of 3 felonies, I went home and I jumped on a bike. And I rode a bike every day for 8 years, like I was telling you, Tim. And, you know, I always knew I had something inside me. I always knew I was capable of a lot. And something just told me that I'm not going to quit. I'm going to show my kids that I can be great. So I actually used to be so ashamed by these felonies. And I decided that I'm going to use this to be great. So I'm writing a book right now. It's called Success Through Adversity. And guys, I would not have what I have now or be the person that I am without going through that. I don't want you to go through it, but I want you guys to take the bad things that have happened, whether it's your fault or not, and use those to do something good with.
But how can somebody find that motivation, bro? Like, how can somebody find the focus? How can somebody find the path to be successful, you know, when, you know, for one, they have that record, you know, on top of their head, or even if they don't have that record, they have other challenges. Let's say, you know, they don't have the financial, you know, ability. They don't have the support system that they need. They don't have the guidance. Like, what was it like for you? Like, do you have a process that you went through that maybe you can share with people?
I'm personally self-taught. Everything I've done just by learning and doing and failing. But what I would recommend to the listeners and the people watching would be take whatever's happened, throw it out on the table, take responsibility. Don't blame anybody else. Don't be a victim, and change your mindset to you still can be great. I'm the example. I'm sitting in front of you right now. Again, my stats are 21 foreclosures, 3 felonies, bankruptcy, cancer, divorce. The shit goes on and on. Now I have all these great stats, right? $250 million in real estate, 2,000 units, 300 flips. What I would recommend to somebody that's going through the struggle would be start listening to people that have something good to say. Get a mentor, get a coach, get with somebody that's been through something like you're going through, and maybe I can be that person. I mean, if your viewers and people reach out to me, my job now is to serve and help people. I made all the money. I've been very successful, and now I want to use my success to help others.
Can I ask you a question? I'm going to be very honest with you.
Go ahead,
right?
Let me have it, man.
Yeah, so, you know, you talking about, and thank you, by the way, for, you know, sharing that, your perspective on, you know, what somebody should do to find that motivation on their own. And one of the reasons why I want to tell you, one of the reasons why I'm happy to have you here today is, like, I'm like other people, you know, like I'm like a lot of people where I want to learn things. So when I turn to TikTok, when I turn to Facebook, when I turn to YouTube, I always come across someone like a real estate mogul, a real estate, genius, right? Who want to teach you. But a lot of time my initial question is like, is this person really legitimate? Like, especially when they say, oh, I'm trying to teach you. I want to share this, for free, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, you always have to buy a book. You always have to subscribe to something. So, and so besides your personal story, the fact that you wanted to come on here to share, like I have been telling people, I'm like, man, it's a blessing, because it's a blessing for me to come across like a real estate person that I can actually, learn from, that I can actually maybe trust what he's saying. So what makes you, so you said that's what you're doing now. So number one is, where and how can people follow you?
So I just started my social media because I'm helping some young people who want to get in the real estate game, and they're saying, Chris, you have all this value to give. You got to share this with people. I don't have a course. Maybe someday they say get a course. I might have that, but I have nothing to sell. I don't have anything I want you to buy.
So it's completely free.
Right now, I just like to help people, and
Okay.
I used to get a lot of fulfillment out of making $1 million. Man, I can make $1 million in 5 minutes, man. I could just put my mind to it and do it.
Crazy.
So what I want to do
Crazy.
is teach other people, especially people like myself, that are going through the struggle. I get so much fulfillment seeing my young students.
Yeah.
I haven't done it on social media. Maybe I'm going to. I'm new at this, so if I'm not
Maybe
doing
this
that
is
great,
where you need to start, Chris.
maybe this is a good start. But
Yeah.
seeing my students, my 20 students that I've helped individually, and you guys know who you are, seeing them succeed.
How do you find them? How did they find you?
They find me. A couple of them are my son, who's 21's buddies.
Okay.
A couple of them I met at the gym.
Okay.
And just like us, we get to talking.
Yeah.
And I've always cared about people, and I've always needed help, and no one was ever there to help me. So I become really successful. What I don't want to do is go behind the curtain and hide out and just, it's so selfish to just want money.
Yeah.
And I used to be that guy. What can I get? How much can I make? And it's not fulfilling. What's fulfilling is helping others. I get such great satisfaction out of seeing people do well.
Because you understand what it's like to have nothing, right? You understand the struggle of somebody trying to get to where you're at right now, and maybe not even to the level of where you're at right now, but at least to be on that path. So I think you understand that, and I think in a sense, and that's why I say what I say, man, like the experiences that we have are what made us, who we are today. And if you didn't have those experiences when you were younger, the struggles, with your family, your mom, your dad, your uncle, maybe you wouldn't understand and you wouldn't care about what other people are going through as much as you do, So that's cool. That's awesome. And you know what? And it is a choice, because a lot of time people get to your level and then they start to forget where they came from. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you choose not to forget. You choose to, do something for other people. So let me ask you this again. If somebody, I know you just started, so is there like a YouTube channel? Is there like a TikTok channel that I can share with people? If you look at,
I think it's Chris Bowley Real Estate. I should know what it is.
Okay.
My team's setting it up. They're going to be embarrassed that I'm not saying. I think it's Chris Bowley, which is my name, Real Estate. And I really think like all these rich people showing off all the stuff they have, that doesn't attract me. What I love is seeing the struggle that somebody else has gone through to make it big. And I've made it big through nothing but dedication, hard work, and never, ever, ever quitting.
Let me pause you right there. I know you got something on your body. So I hope for everyone who is tuning in and listening to this podcast today or watching this podcast, I hope you just listen to what he say. You just, dedication, right? What's the other thing?
Dedication, never quitting, and look.
Never quitting, and look at what he has.
100%. Whatever you do, And I got one little tattoo. I got the 100%
Yeah.
tattoo.
I love it.
But you got to have it in your heart.
Man.
So if you really want it and if you really want it that bad, whatever it is, man. I thought it was money, and then I got all the money, and I'm like, hey, that's not it. Then it was like, well, I want the right girl. Now I have her.
Yeah.
And then I wanted a baby. Now I have a baby. And so now what I really want that's fulfilling for me, and it's not about me, it's about the people I can help.
Yeah. So
You know?
just everyone know, when I first met Chris at the gym, that's the first thing I ask her. I'm like, hey man, what's that number stand for?
I got the 100% shirts, and I carry them with me, and I give them out to people, but I don't just give them to anybody. I give them to people that try hard, that give it their all. That's why I connected with Tim. Short little Asian dude at the gym, balling out, man, balling out. And I was like, who is this dude, man? He's getting in my face, but he's a cool dude, and he's just bringing it. And I just love that dog, man. All my friends that I get along with, they're just, doesn't matter where they come from, you know, what their upbringing was, black, white, Mexican, Asian. I relate more with people that have been through the struggle, because that's where I came from. And I know by me getting on here and talking about this,
Yeah.
I know it's helping some people. That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah,
Judge
no,
me if you want.
I appreciate that, bro, because, like, you know, that I appreciate your comment
to
about
that.
me giving it, you know, 100% when we play ball, because that's something that I appreciate about you as well, because when we play, I know we're going to have a good workout.
Yep.
You know, it ain't about win or lose. It's about getting that 100% effort in, because, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You know, if it's just not your day, it's just not your day, right?
Yep.
That's part of the game. It goes back to what you were saying earlier about, you know, you losing certain real estate deal, or you going, you know, through being sued by somebody, or about to lose everything that you know, have obtained over, you know, the period from, you know, when you first started in real estate until you say, what, 37, 38? Right? And that's a long time to have something in your possession and feel like you're going to lose everything.
At 30 years old, I had 1 million. At 37 or 38, I was below zero.
How
But-
was that like, bro? Like,
Man, it was
I
so-
can only imagine.
To have it and then lose it.
Yeah.
And I only had a little bit. So if you only got a little bit, don't think you got it. But I thought I was the shit. I thought I had
A
made
million's
it.
a lot, Chris.
Man, I'm saying a million is, oh, I had 2 duplexes, I had 40 grand in the bank, I had this, and if you added it all
In
up,
total asset.
yeah, in my house I didn't have it in the bank, I didn't have a million, but if you added everything up, maybe my net worth was that, maybe, and I thought I was the shit. I lost it all when I was 37, 38 years old, just 11 years ago. I drove a $2,000 car. I was made fun of and pointed at my kids' basketball games. And I used to not even be able to get the respect of the brokers and other people to get a deal. Even now, some people look at me and they're like, we looked you up. Or, you know, if I went to rent an apartment right now,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't qualify.
Because of your felonies.
They'd probably say, hey, you're not qualifying. But I'd tell the lady, the manager, I'd say, wait, lady, I'm not here to rent. I'm here to buy. This one, that one. Shit, I'll buy the whole block because I got that dog. And if you got that dog,
beautiful, man.
Man, you can do it too. Just like Tim, like winning the basketball game, like he said. I want to win, but I just want the respect of my peers.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, man, that little son of a gun, man, he gets after it. Just like Tim, I was like, who is this motherfucker, man? He's like, that's how he plays, and that's why we hit it off, and we ended up talking. And
Yeah.
I respect people that try really, really hard and give it their all. They give it 100.
Bro, like, for me, I don't care if you win, but you need to earn that, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy win. You're going to win one game, but that'll be the only game that you're going to win, because the next game you'll be too tired to play. That's my mindset. And just like you, I'm not on the same level where you at right now, Chris. But like, man,
we're all, man, it doesn't matter.
No. I'm just saying though, like, at some time, like, I had this conversation with one of my friends. At some point in my life, I went to the bank and I was trying to get a $1,500 loan to buy a Toyota Celica, bro, and the bank wouldn't give it to me. And now they send me offers, you know what I mean? Oh, you pre-approved for, this much and this much. And I just toss out all the, pre-approved. I mean, not just pre-approved, like all I have to do is hit accept. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like a fake pre-approval letter. It's like actual, pre-approved notification from my account, right? I just think it's funny because, I mean, people used to look at me funny, I never really give a shit about somebody making fun of me, but I can tell when somebody look at you funny because you don't have certain, materialistic things, right? So, yeah, I mean, dude, I went to the bank and I remember I've gone to like 3 different credit unions, man. I couldn't even get a $1,500 loan to buy a car, to get a job. I mean, like, to take me to my work, and at some point I rode my bicycle to work for like a year and a half.
But
I didn't tell nobody.
But see, that probably built the character in you.
Yeah.
We all need to be humbleized. And, I was humbleized very, very much. I was on 5 years of formal probation where the cops would come over to my house and check on me. And I'm not a criminal, man. I didn't hurt anybody. But that brought me so low. And when I wanted to travel, I've always traveled a lot, I would have to go get permission.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go get on calendar, go to court, and get permission to travel. And what that did is it just made me want to just overcome that. The more stuff we overcome, the better we get. Like
the stronger we get, man. Mentally. Well, but here's the thing, though. In order for you to overcome, in order for you to feel stronger, you gotta have the right mindset.
It all starts with mindset. If you're up against it now, or you're having problems, go to a quiet place, get in your mind, forget about what you've learned up to this point, man. Just clean the slate and get in a right place in your mind to be able to grow. If you're going down the road and you're blaming and it's your boss's fault, man, don't hit me up. If you're a victim and it's your boss's fault, forget you, man. You're never going to make it. You're always going to be like that.
Love that.
You're always going to be like that. But if it's like, I try hard, I'm giving it my all, I made some mistakes, I want to do better, I'm going to help a lot of people. And I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I wish I would have had somebody that would have helped me. And you know who I had? Nobody ever. I helped my damn self. So now the least I can do is help other people, man. I love helping people. I have people, if I grab my phone right now, they're doing little deals and they need someone to help coach them through.
Okay.
And when I see them succeed and I see them win in a little deal, and they feel good, even like my little buddy Remy's 21 years old. I'll tell you a quick little story. He's 21 years old. His dad, he's graduating college. His dad wants him to go to work and make 80 grand a year. And I said, that's stupid, man. Don't do that. And he's going against his dad. I just bought a little 16-plex. And I threw him to the wolves and put him in charge of the 16-plex.
Where? Is it in Texas?
It's in California where I live most of the time. And I bought it to make money, of course. But I bought it more because I'm creating a killer in him. By him dealing with this, not one, not two, 16 little unit apartment complex. He's going to make 10% of what I make with no money. He's going to manage it. I'm training him. I'm coaching him. I'm teaching him. But what I love the most about Remy is he's coachable. He's learning. And I said, when you're done with this and you make 20 or 30 grand, which isn't that much, look who you've become. What can you do now, you guys? It's not what you make. Shut up and quit being selfish, man. By doing the right thing, get in the game. You can do anything. You can take everything I have, man. Take the fancy cars, take the buildings, take the money. Guess what? I'm going to get it again. Because of how I think and what I've been through, man. Straight up.
So how, for somebody that young, or even maybe a little older even, right?
Like you, man. I know you're a little old. No, I'm just kidding.
For real?
I'm just kidding.
Thanks for
a lot older, man. You're double that. But I'm older than you, so I can't say anything.
Thanks for reminding me, Chris. Really appreciate that. That's the highlight of this episode.
He's going to be going at me on the court tomorrow. Watch. I should shut up, man, because Tim's a dog, man. That's why I'm here.
So for somebody like Remy, Um, and you say that he didn't need to give you anything to start. I'm assuming that, okay, so I know that you have businesses in California, Texas, and Florida, right?
We're looking in Florida. I own a bunch of apartments and trailer parks in California.
Okay.
And I own 536 units, 9 apartments here.
Uh-huh.
But with Remy, he has the willingness to learn.
Okay.
He's very coachable. And I think I'm going to hire him, but he needs to get his game up. So
Yeah.
I'm giving him everything I know. I'm taking a little chip out of my brain and implanting it, embedding it in his, so he can become something great. I hope he goes on forever with me, but if he doesn't,
Yeah.
he's going to know what to do.
Yeah.
The key is learning what to do. Quit thinking you know everything and listen, not to me, listen to somebody that's doing what you want to do.
Yeah. So how can somebody get in touch with you in Texas, like locally? Because I mean, we're doing the episode. We're located, in Houston area, guys, right? So, for anyone who is not aware of that, so given that you have business going on in California, in Texas as well, how can somebody get in touch with you?
Well,
To learn what
go to Chris Boley Real Estate on YouTube. We're building a platform right now.
I'll put a link in the chat, at the end of the episode for people to.
But if there's a few people out there that really need my help, if you don't want to help yourself, man, I can't help you. But if you really have that dog and that drive and you need someone to give you some guidance, man, I'll give you my cell phone number, man. I'll show you how to do it. I'll bring you out of my properties all the time.
And do they have to be a part of your team, or are you willing to give them the tips that they need to be doing something on their own? Let's say somebody come to you, be like, "Hey, Chris, I see this property downtown. Regardless of the condition, right? Because I don't know, right? But let's just say that somebody found a property downtown and they want to purchase it at zero down and they have no experience. Can they reach out to you for some advice?"
Absolutely, and I can help them analyze the deal. And there's ways to make money with in real estate with no money down. I've done it many times. I know how to make $1 million. I've done it recently with no money down. You know what is more important than the money? More valuable than the money is the knowledge and the experience and the dog to do it.
Yeah.
If you find a great deal, the money will find the deal.
Okay.
I'm looking for deals. You know of a great deal and you don't have any money, call me. We'll be partners. I'll make you a partner, man, and I'll put the money up. But here's the key is getting better at your craft, whatever it is, like a basketball player, like a pro basketball player, or a real estate investor. I wasn't always great, but I became great by doing. And I'll give you a stat too. This is a great stat I'm going to tell you guys about. I'm 49 years old. I've never owned a computer. I've never sent an email. I get emails all the time to like DocuSign for properties, but I'll forward it to my attorney. I'll forward it to my fiance. I'll forward it to my accountant. I have a great team of people. I stick with what I'm really good at. I'm good at finding the deals and making the plan. So I know how to take the deal down. I know how to turn the property around, but I don't do the dumb shit, man. I don't waste my time with the dumb shit. I don't overanalyze. I don't spend days and days and days looking at 50,000 pieces of paperwork. You know what I do? I look at the property, and I'm going to teach you guys one really, really good tip here. When you're looking at properties, don't look at it for what it is. Look at it for what it could be. Like, look at it and say, hey, what could that be? Not what it is now. The way I make all my money is I take a distressed property like a house. I don't do it with houses much anymore. 150 unit apartment complex. And I show up and I'm like, what could this be? And people always say, Chris, how did you turn that property around? How did you do that and make $5 million on that? My answer is always the same. Man, I changed me. So to change a property, it's windows, it's doors, it's a roof, it's tenants, right?
Yeah.
I changed me. Change you first,
That's a good
And the
lesson,
property's
man.
easy, man. Come on, dude. That's easy,
Wow.
man.
Okay.
Come on, Tim. Stop it. Give me a harder question, man. I
Hey,
thought you were going to challenge me. You challenge me on more on the court than you do here, man.
But I think the biggest challenge for people is to find that motivation, though. Because unfortunately, many of us, we don't know what to do, and then we have that fear, right? We have that fear of that we're gonna fail at something, and
Fear of failure, you're always going to stay there, man.
and
What if
people are
I
gonna make fun of you. And so I want you to address this, because I know you and I talk about this a little bit, right? So there's always that fear, like, hey, if I get into this and I don't do good, my family's gonna look at me like I'm a dumbass. My family's or my
They're
girlfriend,
already
my
looking
wife-
at you as a dumbass, man. You
Hey,
might as well.
congratulations, guys.
Sorry, they're looking at you a dumbass. Hey, my family was looking at me like a dumbass. I'm not saying risk it all
Yeah.
without the proper knowledge, but a lot of you guys sit around and you think about it. And you think about it, and you overthink about it, and you overanalyze it, and you never get off your ass and do anything. You've been talking about it for years. What I do with my students, and I only have about 20 that I'm helping personally, they find a property, they send it to me, and I say what's good and what's not. I make them do it, but I'm a safety net for them. I'm not going to let them fail. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell them. I went the other day, my friend's looking at a property in California, 45 units, and he wanted it so bad, and it was a great deal. And you can look on my recent YouTube. I said, no way, man. It's the one that was burned. It had some fire damage. And I would buy a property with fire damage. I
Well,
have before.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, is there a specific types of property that you guys target when you go out there and look for properties to invest in?
Absolutely. I look for distressed properties.
Okay.
I look for upside, and I look for right now expiring debt. We are in a market right now where the money is expensive to borrow. It's
The interest rate
the
is
interest
high.
rate is
Yeah.
high. So, oh man, I'm gonna sit around and wait for the interest rate to change. Here's another key that all real estate people should learn. You don't need a bank. What? You don't need a bank? Well, I don't have the money. What do I do?
Yeah.
Get the owner to seller finance it.
But how do you do that? Do you just okay, so first of all, how do you find this property? Okay, so you walk up to a property and it looks distressed, right? How do you just walk up to the door and knock on the door? I mean,
I'm not buying a house. I'm not buying a house. I find out, and it's public record. You can find out who owns it.
Okay.
But the properties I'm buying, when I see a distressed property, I'll have one of my broker friends find out who the seller is, find out what the situation is, and say, hey, we can tell this is struggling. What do we need to do to help you?
So
know, get this-
so you target like apartment buildings, like
I
multiple
target
units.
what now that I'm so experienced and done this for so long.
Yeah.
I get calls every day from brokers saying, "Hey, Chris, there's a deal over here. There's a deal over there. I'm buying one right now in Texas. It's 232 units.
You told me about that one.
It's 15 million bucks,
Man.
and it's half vacant. Who would buy a half vacant property?
You would.
That would be me, man. That would be me. I don't want something that's all perfect,
Yeah.
all done already. Look for something with some brown grass. Look for something with some broken cars or broken windows. Look for some people out front beating on some car and playing the music loud. Look for problems, and don't be scared. Don't be scared. I can help your people, man. You got some people that need help. I'll help them, man.
I actually I just dropped your the link to your YouTube channel in the comments. So for those who are watching, go to the comment section. You should be able to find the link to Chris's YouTube channel and start following him. And as he say, if you have any questions, I guess feel free to drop it in the comment section on his channel. If you need to reach out to him directly, you can talk to me, and I'll forward your question or your information to Chris, and he can reach out to you.
Or their number, man. If there's some people, especially, I don't know why, I just relate to people that have been through similar struggles.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody needs a helping hand, man.
I agree. I
Not
totally
a
agree.
handout, man. I can hand you some money, but I always ask people this. This is the first question I asked them. If I were to give you $1 million, man, I got an extra million, right? No problem. If I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?
Yeah.
If your answer is buy a Lambo and buy that, man, I'm gonna block your ass in 2 seconds. If your answer is I would invest it all. Man, you can give my personal cell phone number, man. You know what I mean? Because
Awesome.
if you invest it, you're going to have it forever.
Yeah, so they got to come to you with the right mindset.
You got the right mindset, and you faced a little bit of challenge, a little bit of struggle.
Yeah.
And you just need someone to kind of help you get over that hump,
Yeah.
man. I'll do it.
But they got to come with that 100.
You got to come with that 100 or don't come at all, man.
I like
Tim
it.
comes with it on the court every single day, man. But today I got him a little bit, man.
Every single day. That's for sure, man. Because, sometimes we only get a chance to do something once.
We only get a one crack at it.
And even if we get to do it again tomorrow, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it at 100% today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? We're thinking that we might have, like, I come to the court and I'm thinking Chris is going to be there. Well, tomorrow you might not be there, Chris.
We never
know
know
what I mean?
what can happen. We got to live every day.
Yeah.
Be thankful for what we got, the people
bro.
we got, and don't be an asshole, man. I used to be an asshole, and I used to hide behind my money a little bit, and I was embarrassed by that. So
Yeah.
now if someone comes up to me or I can help them, guys, look, 21 foreclosures, bankruptcy, cancer, divorce, you name it. Now my stats are 250 million in real estate,
You forgot.
2,000 units.
You forgot to mention suicide, bro.
I was borderline suicide when I got convicted. I was sitting at home and I would listen to a song. Look it up. It's called 3 Doors Down, Away from the Sun.
I love that. Dude, that's one of my favorite songs, bro.
But check this out. This is what shows that we could change.
Yeah.
And I listened to the song today, and I listen to it almost every day. Today it brings me a feeling of joy that I overcame all the struggles. When I used to listen to it when I was at my lowest point, man, I wanted to end it all.
Yeah.
But I'd look at my little kids back in the day, and if I ended it all, what would they do?
Yeah.
And now God's given me a little son. I have a little 5-month-old little baby, man.
Yeah.
I could lose it all today. I know how to get it back. Get the game to learn how to do it. And don't live your whole life wishing you would have done something, man. Get the right mindset and go after it and do it today, man. Give it 100. That's what I do.
I like that, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so again, I put the link to Chris's channel in the comment section, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And like Chris say, it's somewhat new. He just started out. He has a team helping him with getting on social media, but I believe he's doing a good thing. And he's really genuine about it, man. I met Chris. I like to think that I'm a pretty good judge of character. I don't just talk to anybody. I'm easygoing, but I just don't. When I find a certain connection with people, it's really hard for me to explain. But like, I learned that I need to go with my instinct when it comes to people, right? So there are so many people that I come across, when I go to the racetrack, when I go play ball, when I go work out, when I go, ride my mountain bikes or whatever. But there are only a few or certain individuals that I can actually genuinely feel like I'm connected on a higher level than just, anyone that I just come across. And Chris is one of those guys. So follow him. He's doing a good thing. He's not doing it, for financial gain. So you have nothing to lose, but follow Chris and let's get you started. Maybe he can help you out. Maybe you can become a millionaire. Maybe one day we can go back to this podcast and you can come through and share your story based on what you have learned today, from Chris. Who knows? Life is too short. You just got to get out there and go after what you want. But yeah, you got to find ways to motivate yourself. I think that's the lesson of the day, right, Chris?
You got to wake up early. If you're hitting that snooze button, don't call me, man. I never use a snooze button. Get up, and I'm excited to get up. Because, man, the world is out there. You can do whatever you want to do. And I want to thank Tim for having me because we really connected. I'm not good at this. I'm new to being on camera. I'm a little nervous, even though I shouldn't be. But you know what? If there's 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 people out there that I helped, and they're like, man, if he can do it, you know what? So can I. Then I did my job. And if there's some people and your friends and your followers and, you know.
Are you looking to have like, are you looking to do like a class, like in person, or are you just
I
going to
have
do?
a lot of things in the works. I'm going to
Okay.
do whatever I can do to help people. And I don't give a shit about monetizing or not. I've already monetized, man. I could go find a deal. I could make as much money as I want to make because I learned how to do it.
And that's an awesome thing, bro. Because like I told you before, you know, I try to get into real estate before, and every time I reach out to somebody, oh, you got to buy this book, oh, you got to pay for this subscription. Then all of their promises that I see, you know, it's like, okay, you say you got to help me, you're gonna do this for me, you know, but I have to pay you first. Like, well, how about you do something first, and then I'm willing to give you a percentage of what I am going to earn, but I need to earn that first before I can afford to pay you, you know. And if you are that guy, who has been doing so well and you got millions of dollars in your account, why are you asking me to pay you $29.99 for
Ask
your
them
book?
what they've done. If you're going to hire someone or give them their money, there's all these coaches and these talkers, and they flip 5 houses or whatever. What, man? Get with somebody that's done something. I'll tell you one quick story before we go. I was in LA the other day, and there's this guy that went to UCLA, and he's a 35-year real estate broker. And he was talking down on me because he looked at my history. Oh, I noticed you had some foreclosures and you had this and you had that, and he's just talking shit, you know? And I said, okay, whatever, man. Hey, Mr. Big Shot, Mr. 35-year UCLA Masters, blah, blah, blah. What do you own? And he said, oh, I own my house. And I said, dude, you've been doing this 35 years? You're standing behind your degree and you only own your house? Man, get out of here. Here's my schedule of real estate. Felonies and all, man. This is what I own. Get lost, man.
Yeah.
You are what you've done. You are your experience. Get some experience. Get out there, guys. If I can help you, man, hit me up, man.
So
Let's do it.
so the takeaway from this conversation, this episode, and from Mr. Chris Bowley is that motivation. You got to find a way to motivate yourself. You got to stay dedicated, and you have to believe in what you believe in and go for it, right? And you can't blame somebody when something goes wrong. You just got to figure out how to get around it, how to solve it, how to make it go away. Because being able to do all of that is going to put you on the next level of success that you're trying to get to. Am I correct?
You couldn't be more correct. And when you overcome problems and challenges, look who you become doing it.
Yeah.
Right now, anything can happen. I'm going to know how to deal with it. After all I've been through, man, come on. These guys talking shit at the gym, man, I just laugh, just walk away. Because, look, all the stuff I've been through has created a person. I feel like I'm unstoppable now. But it wasn't always that way, guys. I've been down. I've been out. I've been left for dead. And today I'm strong, and I'm proud of the guy I look at in the mirror. Look in the mirror every morning, and if you like who you see, keep doing it and do more of it. And if you don't like it, like I didn't like for so long, change it.
Yeah.
And we're all works in progress, but just make a little progress every day in the right direction. And become who you want to become. It's all available, man. There's so much cash out there. There's so many deals out there. The economy we're in right now, there's so many deals. I pass so many deals up every single day, man.
So let me ask you this. What market is better right now? Houston, California, or Florida? Those are the three places that I know you travel back and forth a lot, you know. So where do you think would be a better place for people to get started in this real estate business?
People just starting out, I love Houston because there's a lot of opportunity. And I'll give you a little nugget before we go.
Yeah.
If you're just starting out, don't find a house. Find a 2 or a 3 or a 4-plex. And the reason is you can buy it for a good price. You can maybe put 3.5% down or get the owner to finance and carry it. I'll show you how to do that. But when you're selling it to an investor, not an emotional homeowner. So if you're selling a house, they're going to pick apart every little thing. If I were just starting out myself, I'd start right in my own backyard. I'd go find a cheap 2, 3, or 4-plex, put the least amount down as possible, paint it, get the grass green, put a nice little white picket fence, rent the units out, and then say, attention investors. Do that a couple times, and then hit me up when you're ready for your next step.
So what kind of credit score, though, can somebody, does somebody need to have in order for them to make that first purchase with, that 3 or 5% down? What kind of credit score are we looking at? Because, ultimately, that's not bullshit, right? If you don't have the necessary minimum requirement without somebody backing you up, you won't be able to do anything, right?
If you're right, but look, if you're buying a 1, 2, 3, or 4, they're looking at your credit, so your credit better be good because they're qualifying you. When I buy 150 units, they don't care what my credit is. You know what they ask me? They don't even look at my credit because they're looking at the tenants paying the rent. So what they ask me, they say, oh, you want to buy that 100 units? You got the $3 million down? Yes. You got the experience? Yep. Let's roll. That's what they say to me.
But that's you, though. What about somebody who just, like I say,
if you're starting out,
yeah,
and you're getting a loan for a 1, 2, 3, 4, you better have good credit because the bank will give you a good loan. If you don't have a lot of money and you're just getting started, make sure your credit's good. Get 20 or 30 grand together and go out and buy a 2, 3, or a 4-plex.
Okay.
And then when you fix it, don't over fix it. Don't make it perfect for you and the wife. Make it good enough for a tenant to pay good rent, and then sell that thing, man. Jeez, come on, don't overcomplicate it. You're overthinking again. Your viewers are overthinking again, man. There's a couple of them overthinking right now.
I'm one of those people, man.
Tim, no. We're gonna change that. I'm gonna help you with that.
Because I guess so. So I guess what you're saying is there are multiple things that we have to do, right? And one is to make sure that you have the minimum requirement when it comes to credit score and a liquid asset for down payment, and then you got to look at the income versus debt ratio when it comes to the property.
Yeah, and they got all these abbreviations and all these names. If I was starting out with no money, I would go find a great deal.
Okay.
And I would take on a partner. Okay. See, I'll leave you with one more thing. And I learned this a while back. Everybody goes out and buys real estate based on the money they have, right? You were taught wrong. That's like paying your house off. That's dumb, man. Don't do that. When I find a deal, here's the order it goes. Find a great deal. Make sure the bank will willing to loan on it. And then find the down payment. And the reason is if the deal is good enough and the bank's willing to back it up, you, your relative, someone, me, will come with the money. So many people never get in the game because they're basing it on the money they have. I used to be that guy. Not anymore.
Okay.
There's so many ways to do it. I'm going to create a little booklet.
Yeah.
My team is working on it right now.
Yeah, you said that you're working on that book, right?
I'm working on a book called Success Through Adversity.
Okay.
Just my life story of struggles.
Oh, which is a little different than the booklet you just mentioned.
But I'm going to make a little booklet of like the ABCs of real estate, where if you're just starting out square one, all the way to right now, I'm doing $100 million in deals right now. Right now. And I came from the mud, man. I don't know what fractions are, algebra. I don't know, and I don't care, man. I don't need to know. I'm the dropout. I'm the dumb guy. I'm the felon that they won't even let in the door. How am I doing $100 million in deals?
But you're not dumb, though. Like, see, unlike other people, like, I don't believe in the traditional educational system determine how dumb or how intelligent you are, bro. It's what you have going on up here.
And in here.
You know, I'm saying, yeah, because, yes, you might have the academic, education, but if you don't have the heart, if you don't have the mindset, all of the knowledge that you learn from school is not going to take you anywhere. The only way for you to get somewhere is knowing how to apply it and be confident when you do so, right? So,
and liking what you do. Like, I love what I do. I go look at a couple deals, make the deal. The greatest satisfaction I get besides helping people and watching my little son grow up is buying a property that everyone tells me not to. And then getting it and bringing it back.
Right.
Of course, I make a bunch of money on it.
And then they get mad about it, right? They get jealous.
And then I sell it, and they overbid. And they're the guys and the girls that were telling me don't do it.
Now they're trying to buy it.
If I listened to what everybody told me my whole life, I would be still stuck. Don't listen to the people that are telling you what not to do. The reason they're doing that, don't do this, don't get into this, it's because they don't want to do it, man. It ain't even about you. It's what they don't want to do.
And they might be saying that out of their own fear, and if they're not doing it themselves, like to me, I'm with you on that. Like when somebody comes to me and trying to give me advice, I look at it like, if you haven't done it, you can't tell me what to do.
You want to get financial advice from a broke person?
Yeah.
You want to get fitness advice from a chubby person?
Or even if you have money, but if you didn't make money in real estate, you might make money in, let's say,
crypto.
Crypto. You can't come over here and trying to give me advice on what to do when it comes to real estate, because you didn't. So get advice from the right people.
I never bought crypto. I've never bought a stock. Not saying I never will, but you're so right when you say get advice from people in that field. I love real estate. I love taking a property that people don't think is going to make it and turning it around. It does something in here where it's like, don't listen to that person. That person that tells you not to do it.
You got that chip on your shoulder, just,
like you do at the gym, man.
Well, you do the same thing.
I know, that's why we get along. That's why we're buddies, man.
I was going to say, both of us come to the gym with that chip on our shoulder, like, hey, you think we're small, you think we're old, you think we're short, man, we going to make you work.
They count us out every time. And you know what? My whole life I've been the underdog. I love the underdogs. Yeah. But now we're not underdogs.
Yeah.
And the people that are watching and viewing this, just because you're an underdog now doesn't mean you're an underdog forever.
And that is just the view that people have on you. That shouldn't be the view that you have on yourself. You should never, ever look at yourself as an underdog, bro.
No, don't let somebody else's opinion of you be your opinion to yourself,
Determine
man.
who you are and what you can do, man. You gotta look at yourself.
Yep.
And
so be right. Be right with you.
Yeah.
And the world will open up for you.
There you go, man. So that's what we're gonna end this episode with, man. Be yourself, be determined, be confident, and be committed to everything that you want to do.
And be 100. Be 100.
100, baby. Hey, I still want my shirt, though. I didn't get a shirt.
Oh, I got you. Hey, I only give them out to the people that really deserve them, and I owe Tim, man, plus interest, so I got an extra one for him.
And it'll be a shirt that say 100 plus interest.
Oh, here we go. I taught him too well. No, man. Okay. You're funny, man.
Hey, Chris, man. Thank you so much, brother. Like, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the time that we spend at the gym, man. You always give me a workout, and then the conversations that, we had and will continue to have, as I imagine, right? And the time that you took to sit down, kind of talk with us today, talk to me, and your willingness to share your personal stories, because I know not so many people are comfortable with that. Not so many people are willing to take a piece of their life and give it to somebody else, whether through their personal stories or through the ability to do well in real estate. And you are willing to do all of that, bro. And I really, really appreciate you for that. Like, that means so much to me, and I hope it means so much to everybody else who tune into the show. Maybe not right now, but later on, if you come across the show, truly, man, listen to what Chris is saying. I know we kind of going back and forth a little bit. It's really hard. Like, when I talk to Chris, we talk about so many different things, because, man, we can't just stay in one thing, but ultimately, regardless of what we're talking about, the idea of giving 100% in everything that you do is something that he and I agree on, is something that he and I do, man. It's something he and I bring every time we come to the basketball court, and that's what we do in our personal life, at least to our own opinion, our own aspiration, not to anybody else. And I think that's the takeaway, right? You got to do what makes you happy.
Do what fulfills you. Do what makes you happy. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime,
I value
brother.
our friendship, and you know,
Love it, man.
be great, you guys. Much love. Don't sit around. Don't wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
It's go time.
Yeah, go time. It's 100, and I hope you can come back next time, Chris.
I'm out, man.
Hey. So Chris is out. Thank you guys for tuning in again, man. Again, Brian and Alex are not here, but I'm here holding it down. I hope you enjoy the episode, and if you want to follow Chris, go to the comment section. The link to his channel is right there. Once again, thanks, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and do what makes you happy. I'll see y'all later. And Rick, thanks again. The whiskey is great. I love it, man. You're gonna get me drunk tonight. Great. Good night, guys.